welcome. This is Ashley's Heart Song. And y'all, this is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. And yet, it is so much more than that. Y'all, this is about our state of operation. And we define our state of operation in a way that we experience success in our life from a place of rest and fun rather than stress and strife. So, the way I would love to begin this new season of Ashley's Heart Song is for us just to take a moment. Let's just take a beat and check in. Just sit there for a moment, close your eyes, take a breath. What is the rhythm of your body right now? And what I mean by rhythm is the hum in your body. Does it feel rushed? Are you doing three things at once? Are you eating and watching the show and answering an email? Are you feeling restless? Or is your body at ease? Are you at rest? Are you feeling a calmness? Are you doing just one thing at a time? And the way that we are in any given moment inside of our body will determine how we think, how we act, how we feel. And so it is up to us as human beings on this journey of life to take responsibility for how we feel in any given moment, what the internal rhythm is of our body at any given moment, because that is going to determine how your next moment unfolds. And y'all, we are all human on this journey and we are finding our way through. And what I have found in my time as a coach, and also just a person that is on a journey to discover more, to understanding human behaviors, human physiologies, our place on this planet, everything about it. I'm on this journey of exploration and wanting to learn and wanting to become better, become a better human being, become a better person, become better, elevate, expand, grow. And that's not always easy. There are times when that is really, really hard. But it's always fun. It's always an adventure just because I choose to think of it that way. But there are times when the rug is pulled out from under me, just like it has been pulled out from under you, I'm sure, in your life. And during those times, we just go, wow, what can I do? My question has been, what can I do now to heal that, to restore it, to move past it? And so, in today's show, what I would love to do is for us just to explore this internal intelligence that is within us. We have been blessed and gifted with a temple that houses the soul of us, the spirit of us, and understanding how those work together and how they exist and how they function together and how they expand and grow is fascinating. And so that is the way I would love to begin this show. So now that you have taken a moment to discover where you are in this moment, are you feeling rushed? Are you feeling antsy? Or do you feel at ease and calm? Now that you know which state of operation you're in, now it is the question of, okay, what kind of state do I want to be in right now so that I can get the most out of my next moment? And most likely it is what's going to be required is for you to shift your state of operation. If you've been in the rushed, the antsy, the restless way, then it is to shift it into a place of calm. And the way that we do that is easiest is through the breath. And we simply just pause take a moment and just take a deep breath. Let it out through your mouth. Let's do it again. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Now, the counts that you'll want to do for this when you're shifting from a state of restlessness to a state of calm is in 2, out 4. So it'd be a breathing in through the nose for 2, exhaling for 4 until you feel that yourself shift into that state of calm. All right, so that is just a tip number 1 that you got at the beginning of the show. But let's move into what this is really all about today. And it's really about understanding this human intelligence inside of us, this, and how we have 3 major centers within ourselves that influence our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And the head brain is what I want to go to first. I'm going to go through and explain 3, and we'll be revisiting all 3 of them as we move through the show so that you can get an idea of what we are speaking to and talking about. And the head brain is our body's boss. It's our cognitive center. It's responsible for our logical thinking, analysis, problem solving. It is where our rational thoughts and intellectual processes occur. The head brain helps us plan, it helps us imagine, and it helps us create. You know, it is that fascinating noggin that chit-chats the night away as well. It holds our mind, our personality. The head brain is our body's boss. It is from speaking to seeing, from thinking to remembering. The brain controls what you do. It takes a lot of energy to function, so the way that you nurture yourself is very important. It uses up 10 times more energy than any other organ in the body. For the brain, a diet high in sugar and caffeine tends to send the body into a state of stress, of unrest, of restlessness, of anxiety, of worry. And so our diet, the way we eat and fuel our physical body, is very important for the head brain. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. But as we move through this series that we're going to be into for the next 4 to 6 weeks, we will dive further into that. And then we have the heart brain. The heart is recognized as a center of emotional intelligence. It's where we feel emotions such as love, compassion, empathy. The heart brain helps us to connect with others, makes values-based decisions, and we experience the world through our feelings here from this very vital organ. It is the home of our intuitive wisdom. And the parasympathetic state of being, which is the rest and digest beingness of us, is the resonance of love-based emotions. And that comes from our heart. And that is a magnification of 50,000 times more than the head brain. And I'm going to go more into that in just a minute. You know, we have a way of living from the heart that can be difficult at times because we can reside in such a protective state. And that is when we are coming from our head brain, which is the ego mind. And that can be very closed off to inspiration. And when we tap into the heart brain and we tap into those love-based emotions, that is when we have that magnification that is so much stronger than our mind. And that is when we are fueled by inspiration. The gut brain, which there is a lot of talk about the gut brain lately, which the gut brain is so much more than we ever thought it was. You know, in the past, when I was growing up, and even when I look back at things that happened in decades before, you know, the gut was just referred to, you know, is my stomach hungry or is it full? That was really the only kind of communication or even thought that we would have about our stomach, is that, okay, if it's growling, I need to eat. If I have to push myself away from the table and stretch back, that means that I'm full. And then we have that overeating feeling and all of that. But really, the gut brain is also referred to as our second brain. There is more neural traffic flowing from the gut to the head than there is from the head to the gut. The gut is tuned into our instincts, our gut feeling, our intuition. Plays a role in our survival instincts, the courage, the core identity of who you are. The gut brain is deeply connected to inner wisdom, and it also helps guide us in making decisions that are often inexplicable to the rational mind. The gut brain, I have found, is getting the most sleep but needs the most wake time, meaning that it is super efficient when the internal environment is friendly. So, like I mentioned, there is more neural traffic that flows from the gut to the head than there is from the head to the gut. So, really, the gut is in charge. There are more nerve cells in the gut than there are in the whole spinal cord. And together, the three brains interact and influence each other to guide our decisions, shape our perceptions, and lead us towards a more balanced and fulfilling life. So, by understanding the three brains and how they work together, how they work separately, we begin to see how there truly is this harmonizing effect that we can achieve for greater self-awareness, to make more aligned decisions, to live with a deeper sense of purpose and well-being. So can you see why I am just on this journey of understanding more, of being on this exploration? And if you are watching this show, and if this is like triggering some things for you and resonating with you, and you're wanting to seek more, then I highly, highly invite you that you join me in this discovery, and go on your own exploration of understanding what these three brains are and how they are within you, and how you work with them and how they work for you. So I have had a personal experience with the three brains in my own journey of fear of eating, anxiety, worry, um, fear, just all out fear. And I had digestive issues for many years. I had body dysmorphia for many, many years. Um, Starved myself, over-exercised, you know, was just at war. And then I got to that low, low point where it was, you know, okay, either something's got to end, or I have just got to figure this out. And I went on a journey of discovery. And I've had several clients go on this same journey of discovery with me. And I have got this beautiful story that I wanted to share around this person that I worked very closely with, that had such a beautiful unfolding to her messy story. This person came to me just feeling overwhelmed by the gut. The gut was bloated. The gut didn't feel good. The gut had extreme pain. There was also social I'm going to just say social grievances, meaning, things would happen in a social setting that were uncomfortable. Um, just typically, anytime there's a social or relational situation, the gut is always going to be tied into that. And in this instance, there was such discomfort that there was a need for overeating and for eating even when the stomach was not hungry. The stomach wasn't giving any signals of hunger, other than there would be a pain. And so she would feed it. And when you're in this cycle of eating when you're not hungry and filling it even more, then there's this expansion, there's this inflammation that happens, there's a bloating sense, there is a discontent, not only in the gut, but in the emotional state, within the heart, within the mind, all over. There is this discontent. And so when we began working with what was happening, really happening in our body, what we do first is we slow down. And slow is something that when I say that word, people go, "What? Slow? There is no way. There's no way I'm slowing down." And there is such a resistance around slow. However, this is where there is the most power. I mean, Mark David, the president of the Institute of Psychology of Eating, wrote a book called The Slow Down Diet. That is how important slowing down truly is. And when we can slow down and just begin to watch, begin to observe, that is when magic begins to happen. And magic began unfolding for her just by calming her nervous system with this slow technique. And so when we calm the nervous system, which our head brain, all it means is that our head brain's been running the show a little too much. It's had the stage, it's had the spotlight, and it is running amok. And so when this is happening, what we want to do is we want to start with changing how you are with food. And there is this slow technique that is used inside of that and inside of every other aspect of your life. But we start with food, especially because this was where it seemed like the main issue was. And when you begin working in that arena, you can then begin working with the fear-based emotions, not only that are around food, that rear up in that space of eating, in that space of thinking about food, in the space of having to put food on the table for the whole family. During social activities, when we're eating, that is when we are tapping into the gut brain. And when we can balance the emotions within those areas of life, then we are better able to tap into the heart space. And so we go through a resolution process with the emotions and help calm the nervous system even more. And soon the stomach pains were gone, the bloating faded. Um, she lost weight that, the thought of losing weight was not the number one goal. It was just to feel better. And she ends up losing about 20 to 25 pounds just naturally without having to diet, without having to do any of that. It was by simply us healing the nervous system, healing her digestive system, and letting her tap more efficiently into her heart space. So it is a beautiful journey when we learn to work with these beautiful intelligences within us, that we can truly heal digestive disorders. We can heal our emotional wreckage. We can overcome negativity within our mind. We can begin to experience a calm confidence within ourselves just by tuning in and slowing down. At the Heart Math Institute, they state that the heart is, in fact, a highly complex information processing center with its own functional brain, commonly called the heart brain. that communicates with and influences the cranial brain via the nervous system, hormonal system, and other pathways. These influences affect brain function and most of the body's major organs and play an important role in mental and emotional experience and the quality of our lives. HeartMath goes on to say that in recent years, they have conducted a number of research studies that have explored topics such as electrophysiology of intuition and the degree to which the heart's magnetic field, which radiates outside the body, carries information that affects other people, even our pets, and links people together in surprising ways. Our heart brain is amazing. And watching the journey of this client that I worked with go from the nervous system was just in major disarray, right? There was just this nervous tension all around, and the digestive system was feeling it. So her head brain and her gut brain was both in overdrive, fight or flight response, big time. And when we're in that space, that war, we begin to shut down the heart space. But as you can see by what I just read from the HeartMath Institute, that there is so much that happens when we come from our heart space. The impact is amazing. So would you agree that it is important work for us to show up fully within ourselves so that we can be more outside of ourselves and into the world and create that impact that we were designed to truly create? You know, as long as we live trapped by the ego mind and trapped by the that dieting mentality of this or that, calculations, numbers, measurements, you know, we can apply that mentality to every aspect of our life. And when we live that way, it's so restrictive that it cuts off the beating of the heart. It cuts off the expansion that you as an individual have, that I as an individual have. And we are human beings on this earth to learn and to grow and to expand. But as long as we are being restricted by the war between the head brain, the gut brain, being a fight or flight, and creating all that inflammation within ourselves, then we don't get that opportunity to expand outside of ourselves. So truly the work starts within us. I want to point out a few things about the gut brain too. The gut brain is found in the mucosal lining of the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines. And the one that is getting the gut brain, has more neural traffic. I explained that to y'all earlier. There's more neural traffic that goes from the gut to the head than the head to the gut. And in that, the way that that helps you and guides you is when you are feeling hungry and your stomach growls, then that is a great opportunity for you to ask for gut intelligence. Just ask that question: what would be most nourishing for me in this moment? What would be most nourishing for my body to eat? And then wait for the instinct that will tell you what it is that is most beneficial for you in that moment. Your gut brain has been taking in information on you since the day you were born. Your likes, your dislikes, what's most nourishing, how much is enough. It knows everything about you. It's been collecting that data. And so truly, doesn't it make sense for us to tap into and check with the gut brain to see what would be most nourishing for me right now? The gut brain works best in the parasympathetic state of operation, which is the rest and digest mode. That is when you can have full digestion and assimilation of a meal. And your gut brain works really, really well. If you're in a stress state, then your gut brain's efficiency is cut by 20%, 30%, 50%, 100%, depending on the level of stress that you're at. So the things that will wake up your gut brain is being in circadian rhythm, which is the eat, sleep, wake cycle. And stay tuned because I love to talk about that. And so I'm sure that you will find a show coming up soon and also in the past that talks about circadian rhythm. Slow, the slow technique also wakes up the gut brain. Breath work wakes up the gut brain. Just tuning in, just simply pausing and tuning in wakes up the gut brain. And when we are in that relaxed state of being, that is when we have the most efficiency. So what puts it to sleep is stress. Overeating puts it to sleep. Multitasking puts it to sleep. And all fear-based emotions, because fear-based emotions are a stress response, put your gut brain to sleep. So when the gut is stressed or asleep during times of digestion, the result is going to be feeling a disturbance within the body, which is what this client felt. And there was a great disturbance in the body because the nervous system was in overdrive, fight or flight. Your confidence declines, you have low energy, poor thinking, moodiness, and negativity seeps in, and the cycle will continue until you stop it. Until you stop it. The first place we got to stop it is with the slow. The second place that we stop that cycle is by working with the head brain. Now, the head brain contains 10 billion neurons and sends out trillions of messages every minute. The brain is working nonstop all the time. And you may have felt that at one point or another in your life, this little chit chatter that just keeps going and going and going and going. Your conscious mind can process 2,000 bits of data per second, where the subconscious mind processes 400 billion bits of data per second. And that data is collected through all your 6 senses. That's a lot of information. And that information you're not consciously aware of. And this is why when let's say, well, let's just take a Granny Smith apple, for instance. A Granny Smith apple, we all know, those of us who have had apples, which most every human being has had an apple at one time or another, we all know that the Granny Smith apple will send the sour taste buds in overdrive and your jaw will begin to clench, right? So whenever you're walking through the store and you see the Granny Smith apples or you even pick one up, what happens typically? Usually you begin to salivate. And just talking about the Granny Smith apple, I am salivating more. And what that is the subconscious mind says, oh, I know exactly what physiology you need in this moment for this situation. And it brings forward more saliva, little gripping in the jaw, and it just automatically gives you what you need. And which saves us time for a lot of things. But when it comes to like this client that had social situations or just really wanting to sit down and eat a peaceful meal, in situations like that, her nervous system had been in overdrive and the subconscious mind dumps out what she needs in that moment, which is a physiology that is completely stressed. So we have to retrain our head brain. We have to retrain and create new neural pathways and new neural pathways that will be a new way of thinking and feeling and being. So there is a lot of fun when it comes to working in this arena of working with the head brain, because the brain is neuroplastic, right? So you can create new neural pathways and get them engrooved so that is the new behavior, and we can starve the other ones to where they are not triggered. They are not, they don't come forth with the information that isn't needed anymore. So we can starve it. I mean, we can literally change our brain. It's beautiful. We have 7 seconds when a thought comes in or a situation is happening in front of us and we're going to interpret it, because remember, everything is based off of our perspective. And when we go to interpret it, we have 7 seconds to choose if we want to believe that truth or not, or that situation, or believe the lie or not. We have 7 seconds. And in that 7 seconds, you have the opportunity to create new neural pathways that are life-giving for you versus life-stealing for you. So that's just one thing I wanted to bring your attention to. So what are some practical ways that you can honor each center? So other than the things that I've already given you, I wanted to give you a few more just because it's just important. And I want to make sure that you leave with plenty of tools so that you can begin working closely with these 3 centers of intelligence within you, and you can begin to feel stronger, a calm confidence. You can begin to feel like you've got this, like you're not lost, you're found, you're found. So elevate the state of your heart by meditating daily, getting involved in breath work, gratitude practices, emotionally resolving fear-based emotions. Those are the 4 things that you can do for the heart space. And we will be talking more about those. These are like things that I talk about a lot, and you're going to find out more information the more you hang around with me on Ashley's Heart Song. But ones that you can do just with ease is a gratitude practice, and you can sit and breathe. Focus on your breath for 3 to 5 minutes. Inhale and exhale. That breath that I did with you at the start of the show, breathing in for 2, exhaling for 4. Getting that body back, shift it over into parasympathetic state of operation for 3 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you can, is awesome. And then to elevate the state of your gut, you want to create a healthy gut biome by slowing down, by bringing in a diet full of fermented foods and breath work. Those 3 things are huge for the gut. Slow, slow, slow. I am going to do a whole segment on this concept of slow this month in my Facebook group. It's the Vibrant Soul Reboot Facebook group. Just look up Vibrant Soul Reboot Facebook group. Come in and join the conversation there. And I am going to be talking all about that whole concept of slow and how it can benefit you in waking up the gut brain, calming the head brain, and coming from the heart space. And I'll also host a free webinar towards the end of the month where you can get more into that. So the Facebook group details will also be in the description of this video. Then we want to elevate our head brain through sleep by adopting circadian rhythm. Hydrating, you've got to hydrate for clarity of thinking, for centeredness. We must hydrate. For the health of your brain, you must hydrate. Learn a new skill every day, every week, every month, and fine tune that skill. And of course, breath work. Breath work impacts all 3 brains so beautifully, so beautifully. So see if you can adopt 1, 2 of those little tools that I shared with you today, and see how you can tap into these 3 centers, your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, so that you can live a more fulfilling, centered, holistic life. One that empowers you, one that inspires you to keep going. Thank you so much for joining me today for Ashley's Heart Song. I look forward to seeing you again next week as we continue this journey towards elevating and empowering ourselves. See you soon.